What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today is Tacticians Cup number 1 day in Americas, in APAC, basically everywhere. APAC was this morning, Americas just finished up actually, and today I wanted to VOD review APAC Tacticians Trials. We love watching APAC, don't we people? And we love watching YBY1, and this game YBY1 played a really cool variation on a pretty common comp. Let's check out this item real quick. I don't know what any of this says. I mean, non-Nasher must be Nashers, but let me translate these while the rest of the VOD plays out. It doesn't give you the thingy there. Adaptive Hat and Death Sword. So that's Adaptive Helm. No. Is it Adaptive Helm? Adaptive Helm, Deathblade Nashers? Or is it Steadfast? I guess Adaptive Hat must be Adaptive Helm, right? I mean, we'll see. We'll see if that ends up actually mattering. But okay, we got an interesting opener here. A lot of stuff that we can potentially hold here. I'm curious to see what YB1 wants to hold in this spot. I mean, it's got to be sell the Blitzcrank, right? And hold on to... Wow, he loves the Blitzcrank this much. I'm shocked that he... Wow, really? Huh. I'm blown away by this. One, that he likes holding Blitzcrank this much. I don't rate this Blitzcrank unit that high in the early game. There must be a reason why he's thinking about this. Maybe some kind of, you get Automata +1 you can play towards 4 Automata or something. But the crazy thing is he's dishing the Lux plus Vladimir here in this spot. Yeah, I'm shocked by this prioritization for YBY1. I don't really get why he cares about the Blitz that much. But okay, pretty bad option. Rerolled in the Gifts of Friends past. It's just not very good anymore these days. Or Ghosts of whatever is past. The Tiniest Titan's not great either these days. I mean, the best one here is just this one going along here. I mean, what's its name? Lucky Gloves has been buffed a bit. If you do have a glove here, I would consider it, but I do think it's just a going long take in this spot here. Allows you to push level in this fast 8 meta and hit way before everybody else, which is really nice. Subservice also has like a similar idea, but it's just this I think will get you there way more consistently. And it also allows you to do a YB1 playstyle at its best, which is just play strongest board, win some fights. Yeah, he loves this Blitzcrank. Interesting. And yeah, he's just gonna make the Gwinsu Slam here. It's the only real slammable item from this spot. And it's interesting with Gwinsu's sword, I think this really to me looks like a Twitch game. Gwinsu sword open, going long, screams Twitch in this spot, I would say. So it'll be interesting to see how we end up getting in there or not getting in there. We're going to fit in Pit Fighter here. Yeah, he must just, I guess YBY1, his thought is that just Blitzcrank is a fantastic early game unit because he is playing a 0-trait Blitzcrank here over some of his other options. He could be fitting in like a Lux or a Zyra here for Sork. He could be hitting in Morgana too. But he says, you know what? Blitzcrank 2 or Blitzcrank 1, just early game, no traits, is just a lot of frontline, which, I mean, I can't disagree with it, though. I mean, this first couple of fights, he really hasn't run into anybody too scary. But, I mean, isn't this just the perfect YBO1 spot? Win streaking with good slams. He sees this guy with a Radiant Blue buff, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure statistically Radiant Blue buff is, like, pretty ass, but we'll see here. Gonna level up and get the Ezreal in here for Artillerist. A little bit better than just playing Sorcerer. I mean, Lux is a fantastic unit, but Ezreal is a super fantastic unit. And at this point, he is actually just going to play double Vlad over the Blitzcrank. So he likes Blitz a lot, but not so much that he would play it over a Watcher Vladimir. Okay, I mean, it makes sense. It makes some amount of sense. I don't know. I'm really interested by this Blitzcrank, but sadly, we're actually going to lose our streak here to a guy with Gwinsu's and playing around Enforcer. Kind of interesting, because I tend to think of like Enforcer +1. You don't love making a Gwinsu's. There's no one to really hold it. Late game, you have to keep it on your Maddie forever, but okay. Yeah, and YBY1 as well, I think. Okay, so yeah, YBY1 as well definitely thinks that this game is going to be a Twitch game. And I mean, we get the full IE here. I think you can absolutely be excited to play around Twitch from the spot. Gwinsu IE picks up the Swain here, so we can fit that in as a Sorcerer and just kind of like a decent frontliner. And our third Conquer here, so almost on the way for 4 Conquer. If we could pick up the last one in Rel, we would be really excited. So we'll see. He's also about to ping this guy, Taro here, who has not only the scrap +1, I think he's got 4 scrap at this point, but he also has a Gangplank 2 with an LW slammed. What's crazy though is YY1's board is quite good. He ends up actually beating Taro because Taro's board just doesn't have the damage to beat his, which is actually kind of hilarious. And yeah, YY1 just pre-pumping all the way, trying to get to the fastest level 7 the world has ever seen with this going long, which is just, I love this going long augment in this meta just because it lets you push levels faster than everybody else. And most forecast comps, if you're playing Twitch, you're probably going to be contested in this meta, and so just playing it and hitting out ahead from everyone else is just so nice. So we get into our final fight this stage. This guy's board, this was the guy with the, I guess, oh, okay, it was probably, well, I was going to say, it was, oh, yeah, it was probably Radiant Blue buff off of Scrap is how he ended up on Radiant Blue buff. So that's why I was like, Radiant Blue buff, not very good. I'm surprised he would even like take that off of something, but I don't think he did. He got the augment that turns your single item units into Radiant items and then scrapped into it. All right. Oh, that's okay. I mean, that is a Vand or two, so definitely something we can think about holding on to. Here we have also the potential Sunfire to make here. Can move items over to GP at this point, saying you know what, GP is actually gonna be stronger on this board, and yeah, just making a nice smooth pivot into a different version of the board. And ooh. Wow, what an idea. Gargoyle here onto the Vander instead of Sunfire. I'm shocked by this slam. I think a lot of people like Gargoyle as like a really, really heavy tempo item. And I think Y-Boy1 is just playing for max tempo in this spot. That's crazy though. Wow. Gargoyle slam over Sunfire. I don't know if I can co-sign this Y-Boy1, but it's an interesting idea for sure. All right, next augment here. Yeah, reroll Watcher +1. Really don't want to be playing around that. I mean, we have LDP. I don't know. Scavenger. I mean, the more I've seen it, the better it's looked, but still not that hyped for it. The turret tower defense one, just not that interested in this either. Yeah, I do think this is actually pretty reasonable here. We need more items. There's a lot of decent stuff that we can take here. I mean, I don't even mind Cloak here, Declaw, and the other thingy. If you're taking Glove here, it's kind of interesting because you can make like TG. I guess it's like TG. I mean, you even have the Guard Breaker, which is something that you can eventually make. But yeah, he's gonna hold the Glove for, I mean, one for scrap value here, and then eventually for potentially TG plus Glove item, TG LW, TG Guard Breaker, something like that for our Twitch. I mean, it makes some amount of sense. I don't know, and I guess this. I mean, keeps us. I mean, we must play AD this game. So I don't know. I would have thought the even Shroud Slam was coming, but here's something kind of interesting. It is the 3/3 LeBlanc pickup. This is going to go onto the board. TG is going to get made onto Swain too, and yeah, 3/3 LeBlanc. I mean, it's just going to fit on the board for now. It is, still a Sorcerer, so I don't think we can be mad about playing that. We drop out of Nami, of course, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, you can always be pleased about keeping a LeBlanc on your board, but, LeBlanc's going to sit on the board for now, which, I don't know. This game's already so YBY1 coded that, like, why shouldn't we get, like, a crazy high roll here that also makes our board makes our game way more annoying to play out, I would say, just because it's too high roll. We have the Pan here if we want it. I don't think we have anything that we're that hyped to make out of Pan. So I think YBO1's just going to look for a second tank item here, looking at potentially just a Warmogs in this spot here, but we'll see. Could also be holding on to Guardbreaker here. We do actually pick up the GP2 as well, so this is really, really nice. And yep, the Warmogs is going to get crafted. Great synergy with the Gargoyle. And, who needs Heal Cut? We have a Sunfire Morello on our Swain here, so we don't even need to build Heal Cut at this point. But yeah, I mean, we're still chilling on this board. We no longer have Scrap in here, so no need to actually scrap onto the GP here, which is pretty sad. But, I mean, I don't think you can be sad when you look at our board here. Swain 2, GP 2. I mean, this almost looks like we're looking at like a fast 9 type game plan here, but we'll see what YBY1 ends up cooking up here. Do have a pretty good scrap unit to get in there in the Echo, so that's something we could look at. It's also, we could level to 8 this round, but there's an interesting idea with going long that, like, you obviously want to push like fast level 7 as quickly as possible because you can't make interest. But rounds like this, you might want to bank some econ if you want to actually roll on 8, because if you just push level 8 with 0 gold, then you're just gonna be stuck there rolling it to 0 every round on 8. If you save up some gold, then you can, potentially like roll on 8. And the idea is like, you don't want to go on 8 and then have all of the econ from going long be just pushing you from 8 to 9. You want to use as much of that as possible to get to 8 so that you have more gold to roll on 8. So YBY1 using that idea here and just saying, you know what, I'm going to econ up a bit here, just enough to go 8, but I want to keep the rest of the gold in my pocket so that I can roll here on level 8 and put together a good board. There's a bunch of Garens and Ambessas here. Garen, Ambessa, we still, we got the Tristana as well. Yeah, YB1 did a fantastic idea of holding on to these Enforcers, and here is, or the Emissaries, and here is where the game gets kind of interesting, because we have this LeBlanc, we have these AD items, and now we're going to start actually building AP items onto LeBlanc, so this is going to end up pivoting into this really, really interesting idea of Enforcer Sorks here, or Emissary Sorks. The E traits are giving me a slip up here. But yeah, Emissary Sorks. Let's look at Augment here. I mean, I never mind whatchamacallit, an Inspiring Epitaph here. We do have a 5-cost for Mentorship, which is kind of fun, but I don't know. I love myself an Inspiring Epitaph here, and looks like YB1 loves it as well, so he does take that. And he does hit the Vladimir here, which pieces together the board really, really beautifully. Like, look at this board, actually. Obviously, we had to hit a LeBlanc to get here, but the traits are beautiful. We get to fit the Elise in here, and his idea is this is our board, and we are just going to push 9 on this board and add in 6 costs, hopefully. But you know, the Vladimir fits in for 4 Sork, fits in with Watcher. We obviously get another Sork in with the Nami and the Swain. Almost looks like that kind of like Swain Nami reroll board. I mean, it is like the Swain Nami reroll board, the 4 Sork, 4 Emissary, but he's not playing Swain Nami reroll. He's playing fast 9 off of hitting an early LeBlanc. I just think this is such a cool idea. Obviously, had we hit, maybe like a Zoe 2 here instead of LeBlanc, then you can play like kind of a more standard version of this, and then you're not getting Black Rose in, but you still get, a very solid board. Maybe something can come in over the Elise at that point. Though I'm not really sure what it would be. I mean, Elise seems solid as a form swapper. I don't know. Is there any incentive to getting in GP? Not really. But definitely lots of ways you can play around this board. But now YB1 is just coasting to a level 9, which is just, I don't know. This is such a cool board. I think so many. I mean, he rolled it down and did a pretty flex roll down, but he just picked up, I mean, it was so quick how he picked up all of these other units that actually get him into this Enforcer setup and, or Emissary setup. And yeah, I mean, it's just a beautiful spot now. He's 37 gold here, looking to push 9 as quickly as possible. Has a potential Nasher Slam, and he's considering it. He's looking and seeing like, okay, if I have to, if I fight somebody strong, I'll make Nashers. It looks like. I mean, I do think from a tempo standpoint, I like the idea of Nashers, but from like an item economy standpoint, it looks kind of bad. We already have attack speed coming from Guinsoo, so adding more on top of that with Nashers would really love like a Shojin or something to scale up our ability for our LeBlanc to cast here. He's also looking at holding on to the belts here for potential like heal cut, because we're kind of out. We don't have any of like the extra items built, right? We have no heal cut, we have no Amar Shred, we have no armor shred. So holding belt and even bow for both of those, I think is pretty reasonable. What is that? Is that crab? Must be. It's at 100%, maybe. I don't know. I'll look this up to see if it's crab, because that I think says 100% in it. Yep, when the general dies, summon a crab that possesses 100% maximum blood, armor, and resistance to their spells. I'm kind of a beast, and it's called Crab Beast Spirit, based on the auto translate. I'm kind of a beast at figuring out what the anomalies are without even being able to speak the language. But I mean, you just look for like a number in it, and most of them have kind of unique numbers. Yeah, I mean, that's what they pay me the big bucks for. I'm a rank 1 augment analyzer or anomaly speech analyzer. But yeah, I mean, the board doing solid. We're still not going to win every single fight, especially when we fight somebody crazy like this Twitch 2 Mundo 2 board. But we don't have to win every fight, right? We're down a prismatic augment in the going long in this spot. What we need to do is just be able to push 9 and have enough gold to make it there. And yeah, I mean, we're basically at that point. I also don't know why we're holding on to these like extra copies of like Nami and Garen here. Maybe some kind of Garen 3 ID on 9. There's the Sunfire if we want it. Could we even just be like Sunfire Shiv and just get those that armor and Amar Shred out of the way. We'll see what we end up adding onto this board. As far as like stuff to add, I mean, Cassiopeia seems like a very nice add. But yeah, the second Garen, that's the idea behind holding it. There's the Sunfire. There is the Static Shiv as well. I mean, I think this is beautiful. Gets our Amar Shred, gets our heal cut. So we have both of those figured out. And we also got the... we had the 4 Black Rose in, and then, yeah, we found the second Garen, so why not just play double Garen on this board? And I don't know, maybe there's a big Garen 3 in the sky. We just killed this guy off who's holding 2 Garens on their bench, so, maybe if somebody else isn't holding a lot of them, we can consider that as an out. And, I mean, for now, it looks fantastic, especially just this 4 Emissary, second Garen 2 on the board, just really tanking up. And, yeah, YBY1, I mean, maybe looking at a level 10 here. We'll see. If we find another Garen, then I think we're probably just sitting on 9 digging for Garen 3, but... obviously, our augment wants us to push levels. So this was the guy who had, I think, Enforcer +1 in the Guinsoo slammed earlier. Did find Caitlyn on 8, so good for him. Also has, wow, that's their Vi had the anomaly where when she dies, she comes back to life. I think that's what happened there, and that one actually looked really, really nice. Just Vi buying a million years and doing a bunch of damage. So definitely something to consider there. Pretty cool setup. And yeah, I mean, this Crab Garen also seemed very, very nice just as another frontliner. Obviously, all the extra HP that we have on him is really, really nice for just making the biggest crab that we can. And yeah, I mean, the board's looking good. The Ambessa doing pretty decent with the IE Quicksilver. I just think this was such a cool out as far as a comp to play with AD and AP items. And obviously, the LeBlanc makes it a way better out. But I mean, had we not hit the LeBlanc, like I said, you could end up playing around like a Zoe 2 with this setup, and it would still be, quite serviceable. And I think that's just such a cool way to play it when, we don't hit like the Sorc +1 and we can't play around like 8 Sorc and stuff like that. And Y1 is so good at knowing all of these little individual outs so that, when you know all of these, you never miss. If you know every single tiny little out, you don't miss. Nashor's here is a bit surprising to me. I don't know where this is going. His idea is he's going to move something off of LeBlanc, but what? And he's going to move Shiv over to Nami. Huh. Okay, I mean, this seems fine. I mean, I think he probably would have taken an Ambessa item there had there been an Ambessa item, but they all looked pretty bad. So he just wants to get to better, more carry-oriented items for the LeBlanc and then just throw the Shiv over to, any unit can proc Shiv. So it makes sense. I don't know how much better Nashor's is than Shiv. I mean, probably like a little bit, but I mean, we're on the way to level 10. I think if you don't find another Garen, you can think about just pushing levels. Also, this is pretty interesting, moving the Garen into the backline just to try to make sure that our LeBlanc lives against stuff like Caitlyn and things like that. Caitlyn and like Twitch, making sure we don't get sniped. I think this is so smart and so interesting. And also, obviously, we don't have to like full clump or anything like that, but still just a little bit of extra HP onto this LeBlanc makes her last a little bit longer here. Because like, I think he realized that like all of these fights are our front line is actually like surviving to the end of the fight. Our crab that, Garen is going to die into is surviving. The scary thing is that our backline's getting blown up before front line. So he makes the really smart plan to say, you know what, I'll move a Garen to the backline and then just make my backline a little bit tankier so that then we can make it there. I think that's so smart. The other thing about this spot is we are still LeBlanc 1. So yeah, I do think Y1, yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. Until we actually are like LeBlanc 2, I don't think you really are that excited to push level 9 or to push level 10. Pick up the Warwick here, who, yeah, seems better than the extra Garen. But hey, we did find another Garen on the way there. We can move the TG over to the Warwick immediately. Y1, he's just so quick. Nothing ever, he's never missing any of these little things. He is always making sure, boom, get the TG over there onto the Warwick. And look at that Warwick go. Is it enough to win this fight? Oh, it just barely wasn't, man. Another fight where this crab is just is key. We roll down here, pick up the LeBlanc 2 that's beautiful here. Actually gets the AP items onto the TG and says, you know what? I'm 20 HP. I have another remover. Let's put this TG backline onto the Swain here. That's so smart, actually, to say these items are way better on Swain. I have 2 removers. Like, I am going to play for every single fight that I can, because if I lose a fight here, I could be going, 4th instead of, top 2, top 1. So really just very just clean play from Y1. And, it ends up winning us a fight. We end up killing this guy off. Maybe another player dies. Nope, not yet. We get another TG. We get Vow plus Guardbreaker here. It's also interesting to see, like, does he, at this point, like, Val Guardbreaker think, that's better on Swain as well? Looks like the answer is yes. Okay, no. Looks like the answer is no. Yeah, I was kind of surprised, just because I do think generally items onto a Warwick 2 should be better than items onto a Swain 2, as long as you don't have those, like, full AP items. But okay, he's going to go for that. We're fighting a Zoe board. He's also looking at maybe double killing here. Can the Warwick do it? I don't think it can, so this is going to be a dub here, and I think we're going to have one more fight to play out. Yeah, okay. So his clone did lose there. Carousel here. He's really clicking for that Gargoyle here to throw... What is the idea of Gargoyle here? I don't even understand. Why is he so excited about Gargoyle? I mean, that is a Garen 3, so I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about what item we end up building, but I guess he just wanted for Elise, but doesn't really matter. It's a Garen 3 on 9. I mean, it's a YBY1 masterclass, man. Flex for Sorc for Emissary off the LeBlanc into a Garen 3 win out. I mean, who else but YBY1, man? This guy is just such a beast, and just so fun to watch every single time. So that is going to be the game. If Garen can finish off the Caitlyn, which I think, how fitting for the Garen to just close out that fight. I would have liked to actually see the giant crab grab when Garen dies, but Garen's obviously never going to die there. So a really, really, really fun game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Metafy, all my other stuff down below. I will say, for anybody who is interested in coaching and that kind of stuff, but wants something cheaper than coaching, I did just do a fundamentals overview that I have on Metafy as just a video that you can get. And it's way cheaper than actual coaching, but it has a lot of stuff that I say in my coaching sessions. So if you guys are interested, check it out. Metafy in the description. Under, I think it's guides, I think it's called. And yeah, that's my self promo for the video. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.